Soy Mima Cortés, nací y crecí en Venezuela y vivo en San Diego. Me identifico como queer y afrolatina. Soy artista, comunicadora visual y activista. Exploro la historia del presente desde la fotografía documental con perspectiva de género y la ilustración como narrativa principal para proponer nuevos conceptos sociales. El futuro es el trabajo, representa la perseverancia y la convicción de dejarnos crear una vida digna a pesar de las condiciones de desigualdad en las que hemos nacido. Habla de la fe que ponemos en las acciones diarias que terminan construyendo castillos donde nunca vimos un hogar. No se trata de riquezas, sino de la libertad. No es acumular para vivir, sino sentir para existir.
Hello everyone, I am Franz from France, to make it easy, living in Athens, Greece. This is the photography, as you can see, of an old man in the neighborhood of Asakusa in Tokyo. I took it 3 years ago. What I really felt when I took this picture is that this old man was always there. This old man was always taking his breakfast in this soulless breakfast house. And maybe he was, as if he was kind of a spirit living there. Who knows? This old man, at least, is the personification of timelessness, of temporality and intemporality. The old guy, was surrounded by ultra-modern skyscraper and bunches of tourists taking energy before going to visit Tokyo. But this Japanese man was not affected at all. He was cautiously having the same breakfast since thousands of years. And such permanence of his gesture of himself, despite everything that can happen around him, gave me hope. Why? Because humans are way more resilient than we think. This man, doesn't make any noise. He is almost hidden in the shadow. He doesn't have Instagram, I'm sure of it, but he is so strong and fortunate because permanence and immutability are the real luxury in our fast changing world. And to imagine the future, we also need permanent values, people, and present. To imagine the future, we need him.
Hello everyone, my name is Rasha Al-Jundi. I'm a Palestinian documentary photographer based in Nairobi, Kenya. I chose to switch from 15 years of working in the humanitarian sector to documentary photography to pursue my passion in visual storytelling, as I truly believe in the power of visual stories and images in connecting people, especially in a climate where powerful forces are always insisting on dividing us. My images are coming from an ongoing project titled Red Soil. These particular images were made in Loliondo, northern Tanzania, where the Maasai had been pushed off 1,500 square kilometers of their ancestral lands for trophy hunting and wildlife tourism in the name of conservation. I chose those specific images as they counter what I truly believe is a dystopian reality for a semi-nomadic tribe that requires access to land in order to pursue its lifestyle. The images counter the dystopia by displaying the beauty of the Maasai's way of life and the forests, which this indigenous tribe depends on and interacts with for their traditional practices. I think this is a very clear example of leading by example, and it is the way forward. We should all take note of it and take note of all indigenous peoples' leaderships around the world, as they do actually show us how to live sustainably.
Hi, my name is Jimmy Tan Sante, and I am from Singapore. I think leadership is, in the words of Myles Munroe, we all can become leaders in our own right. We do not have to be copy of other people. We can be an original. So when you have a vision or a desire to make a positive difference, you can take the lead in anything that you feel that will be good for the environment and for ourselves. I believe that we are at a time to where unprecedented disasters such as floods and heat waves, landslides have been happening because of human-induced climate change, as well as the loss of the forest. And within 200 years, about 50% of the world forests have been destroyed in the name of development. So I want to play a part in ensuring that we do not let our nature barriers be sacrificed, and we can actually aspire towards a goal that is sustainable, that encourage us to revamp the economic system from one that is unsustainable to one that is legal, or one that actually respect the ecological boundaries.
Mi nombre es Samantha, soy de Armenia, Quindío. Actualmente trabajo con una ONG que se llama Amar es Más, y hago parte también de la colectiva Zetas Libertarias, con quienes aprendemos y producimos diferentes hongos. Bueno, con estas fotografías yo buscaba retratar la labor que hacen Mercy Vera y Claudina Loaiza, que son guardianas de semillas, y pues eso, precisamente ellas guardan las semillas, que son tecnologías que se han heredado, conocimientos que se han heredado de generación en generación entre pues su comunidad indígena Pijao, en territorios desérticos como es el sur del Tolima. Creo que es muy importante pensar en cómo repensarnos las narrativas para generar presentes y futuros más sostenibles, precisamente porque a través de las narrativas también se han construido los sistemas de explotación, los sistemas de muerte que nos tienen hoy en crisis. Entonces hace poco leía a una teórica muy bacana que se llama Yasnaya, una indígena mexicana, y ella hablaba que es muy importante repensarnos los futuros desde las diferentes identidades, precisamente porque estos sistemas económicos y políticos, digamos, que nos han impuesto, se han asegurado también de construir narrativas sobre el futuro, narrativas que muchas veces son simplemente de apocalipsis, narrativas que son de un mundo hipertecnologizado, y pues que se piensan desde un lugar muy colonial, muy racista, patriarcal también. Entonces por eso es importante repensarnos las narrativas, repensarnos desde el arte también todas estas poéticas y estas artes desde las comunidades indígenas, desde las comunidades afros, desde el sur global, para pensarnos la construcción diversa también de diferentes futuros.
Every leader who works on the sustainability field right now should ask him or herself, do I really want to save the world, or do I just want to save my world, my ideas, my vision, my values? It's not the same at all. Because if sustainability starts to mean only one thing, if sustainability starts to be represented by only one kind of person, by only one way of thinking, of living, of eating, of dressing, or of voting, it will automatically exclude the people who just do not have the same opinions on behaviors on those things. And real leaders are not like that, isn't it?
We share this earth together. And through our work as visual artists, we can connect with different audiences and to plant empathy in people's hearts and to show them how interdependent our humanity is. Thank you very much.
Thank you.